I welcome you to this virtual tour and progress report of Lekki Deep Sea Port project. The entire project is divided into phases and currently phase 1 is under construction. We would like to update you on the overall developments in 2020 and the current ongoing construction activities. Despite substantial interruptions caused by the pandemic and the End SARS protest, Lekki Port is making an effort to keep up with its delivery schedule. Our EPC contractor is Chelly, part of China Harbour, and our PMC consultant is Louis Berger, part of WSP. Currently, we are well on track to deliver the port on time in September 2022. Health, safety and environment is our biggest priority in order to deliver this state-of-the-art project. With all of the marine infrastructure design and most of the landside design work complete, and the full mobilization of equipment and resources in the last quarter of 2019, we reached full construction in 2020. In the first quarter of 2020, most of the activity was centered around the dredging of the channel and the basin and the construction of the west and the east breakwaters. And since September, pile fabrication and driving and other project activities have started as well. Due to the pandemic, the contractor faced some delays in the supply chain and the delay in arrival of specialized workforce. Currently, however, we are looking for mitigation efforts through our dynamic project planning process. Prefabrication yard. We will start the tour with the prefabrication yard and the miscellaneous site facilities. The prefabrication yard has separate areas for fabrication of different elements of the project. This is the area for the fabrication of interlocking paving blocks. It is a continuous production facility, since the paving blocks will cover an area of nearly 45 hectares of the total terminal area. Next is the batching plant for the X blocks, where we will produce 30,000 blocks over the duration of the project. The X blocks needed for the project are of 3 different sizes, 2, 3 and 5 cubic meters, based on the usage in different locations of the breakwater. Here we can also see the prefabrication yard for the sewage manholes, the drainage, open ditches and other components of the underground infrastructure. The pile fabrication factory. Towards the end of the prefabrication yard is the pile fabrication factory. The steel piles are meant to provide structural stability to the key area. The piles, together with the steel sheets, create the container terminal, quay wall, and are being manufactured here at site. A lot of precision goes into this process with the involvement of very specialized equipment. We have the steel coils that are the raw material for the piles, which are then unfolded and wrapped into tubular forms. Finally, they are welded into the shape of the pile. The biggest pile we have on the project is 41 meters long and 2.3 meters in diameter. Once the piles are ready, they are sandblasted and painted to be finally transported with specialized tractors to the pile driving area. Dynamic compaction. The area you see now is the main terminal area. There are 3 dynamic compactors at work with 10-ton pounder weights being used for dynamic compaction of the soil. Essentially, the crane lifts the weight and allows for a free fall, thereby compacting the first 5 to 10 meters of soil. This is sufficient to create a dense hub soil upon which the terminal structures can be built. The level of compaction is provided by SPT laboratory tests, and we have completed about 45% of this activity now. Building construction. We're also pleased to report that we have started the foundation work of our first buildings, which will be substation 1 and 2 and the labor arriving building. And in the coming months we will be adding 17 more buildings, the major ones being the admin and operations building for CMA terminals, customs inspection building and the maintenance building. It is expected that by mid of next year we will have a peak labor force of 1,200 persons on the land and the marine side areas. Quay site piling. Next, we are at the pile driving area, looking at the planned front quay wall. The piles and sheets are being installed to provide structural integrity of the quay wall. The complete piling will require 225 piles to be driven, of which more than 30 piles have been done so far. It is a continuous process till we complete the activity for the entire 680 meters of the quay wall. Once the structure of the front quay wall is completed, we will start with the dredging to a depth of minus 16.5 meters in front of the quay wall. Main breakwater. The next area is the main breakwater at the west end of the project. The final length of the breakwater will be around 2 kilometers. And the breakwater extension works is in full swing now, with about 100 truckloads of granite rocks being supplied every day to extend its length from the current 1.5 kilometers. It is important to mention here that due to the closure of the interstate borders, the supply of stones was impacted, leading to delays in the breakwater construction. Though the delay will not impact the project timelines, as mentioned earlier. Eastern Breakwater and Groin. The next in our tour is the East Breakwater and Groin. These marine structures are currently under construction with a percentage of completion at 45% and 65% respectively. Basin and channel dredging. The next area you can see on the ocean side. Towards the middle of the port basin is the cutter suction dredger in action. A dredger is a kind of vacuum cleaner that takes the sand from the seabed and pumps it through the pipelines into the land side. Of the total 16 million cubic meters of sand which will be dredged as part of the entire project, about 40% is completed. Artificial beach. In between the Eastern Breakwater and the Groin, an artificial beach is going to be constructed by using the dredged sand, a so-called soft beach protection. For the reclamation for the artificial beach, 32% of the total sand required has been dredged and deposited. That completes our tour and the main construction activities of Lekki Deep Sea Port. It is also pertinent to mention that in addition to the EPC work being carried out by Chelly, we have also made progress on the procurement and provisioning of ship-to-shore, RTG cranes and other terminal equipment necessary for the container terminal operation, which is currently at the tendering stage. On the regulatory side, we are in advanced discussions with the NPA, Nigerian Port Authority, towards the provision of marine services. NPA is developing a plan for setting up a separate harbour master control area in which most likely will not only include Lekki Port, but also neighbouring maritime developments. Before we sign off, we would like to reiterate that we are currently on track for the completion of construction by September 2022, while the operational readiness will take another 4 to 6 months, which will include services provisioned by other stakeholders like NPA, CMA terminals, terminal equipment, customs, leading to the start of commercial operations by the end of Q1 2023. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you have gained some more insight into the recent fast-track developments of Lekki Deep Sea Port and our ambition to make it a successful world-class mega hub of transport for Nigeria.